it finally happened. They finally nerfed Edwin Van Cleef. It's just been 6 years or something like that. I honestly can't really believe it yet, but, well, these changes are for sure going to shake up standard. Without further ado, balance patch has just been released. Let's get into it. We see 2 balance changes happening to standard. The first one is Edwin going from 3 mana to 4 mana, and the second one is Bogs by Knuckles from 4 attack to 3 attack, but keeping the same mana cost. Granted, this means that the 2 pretty non-arguably best decks in standard gets hit pretty hard by 2 of their key pieces. Usually nerfing the mana cost of a card, as in Edwin's case, is more relevant than just nerfing the attack of a weapon. But I still think that both are going to be quite impactful. And actually, I think that the Bogs by Knuckles nerf is going to be more impactful than the Edwin nerf. So let's start with Edwin. The devs describe it as that Edwin is at its all-time peak, at its strongest, after the introduction of Foxy Fraud, Swindle, and Plunderer. As someone who has been playing over hundreds of games of Deckcode Rogue over the last few days, I agree. Edwin has been around for 6 years, and I think that it's a shame that they haven't done anything about the card sooner, but it's definitely at the best he's ever been. Then again, I'm actually not even so sure how much this changes the playability of Edwin. I still think that with Foxy Fraud and Shadow Step, it's pretty easy to make a cheap Edwin. It of course makes the card a lot worse, since it's a card you want to play together with other cards, so increasing the mana cost, similar to both Illusia and Altruis, matters a lot more. But with that being said, the Rogue deck, I feel like some of the most annoying games that you lose against it is due to Edwin, but I don't think it's like that important of a card for the archetype. I don't think that the entirety of Rogue's strength comes from just Edwin, even though it's probably the best card in the entire deck. So I still expect Rogue to be incredibly playable, and I don't think that that many cards change in the deck. I would just run the same 30 as Deckcode Rogue. I'll show you guys that later. As for Bogs by Knuckles, I think this is a more relevant nerf. So while 4 to 3 attack, I think a lot of people are gonna look at this and be like, oh hey, wait, this doesn't hurt Shaman at all. But this has like a lot of tiny implications that I think is really gonna hurt Shaman. Or at least I think the deck is still gonna be playable, but not as good. I myself, when asked about how would you nerf Shaman on stream, have suggested this exact change, so I've actually already thought about it quite a bit. The thing about lowering Bogs by Knuckles to 3 attack is that the deck is so strong board-centric, but it runs out of value. So if you can deal with a few of Shaman's strong boards, eventually they'll run out of steam and you can take over the game. The kicker to this, though, is that Bogs by Knuckles, especially after you draw multiples of them with Cage Match Custodian, or you get it back over and over again through Horde Pillager, that it just deals such an obscene amount of damage. 4 attack times 2 is 8, well, and then if you play it another time, that's up to 16 damage. So while Control Deck doesn't really work against Bogs by Knuckles, is because you take so much damage while you're trying to clear their board. I think that getting Bogs by Knuckles down to 3 attack makes it so decks that rely on clearing boards can do a lot better against the deck, because just reducing by 1 power makes like several activations of Bogs by Knuckles. It starts getting quite a bit less damage in the long run. But the even bigger thing about nerfing its attack to 3 is that a lot of the really insane draws that Shaman can have is through Dread Crusader together with a weapon. And the Dread Crusader going from 0 mana to 1 mana when you have a Bogs by Knuckles equipped is huge in terms of tempo. So I think that these two things added together makes it so that Shaman is still good, but I think it's taking quite a hit from this nerf. And for the record, I guess I should mention that these balance changes are being released tomorrow already. So get your dust ready. So that begs the question, what should everyone play after these nerfs? Well, I can't say for sure because we don't know exactly how the nerfs will impact the meta, but my bet for the best deck is that it's still going to be Rogue. If you've been watching my stream lately, you've been seeing that we reached ranks like top 10 legend with a pretty absurd win rate through over lots of days, and I think I've put like 150 games on the deck now. I don't see much changing for this deck, and I still think it's gonna be a top contender in the meta, and it would be my pick to play the second the nerfs go live. Should you disenchant your Boxbane Knuckles though? My bet is that I don't think so. I would at least wait to do it. I still think that Shaman is gonna be a good deck, but I'd also be keep an eye out to see how it performs. But with that being said, a lot of you are probably pretty tired of Rogue and Shaman at this point if you've been playing ladder, and are looking for something else. And one of the decks I think that really gets quite a boost from this is Warrior, and namely the Enrage Hybrid Warrior that's been going around lately. Gabi reached rank 2 on NA and rank 1 on EU and rank 1 on NA. With this Enrage ETC tempo deck, it's a little bit tricky one because it's a tempo warrior deck with a built-in combo. So if you're looking for a challenge from a deck, I can really recommend it. And I would also check out Gabi. He streams, and follow him on Twitter. One of the most consistent ladder performers we have currently. I also think that Paladin is just on the border of being among the top decks currently, but with both Shaman and Rogue getting a tiny bit weaker, and also Warriors expected to rise in the metagame, I think that Paladin could be a really good choice. I recommend this list, which is very similar to what Jarla played in the World Championship to a second place. I think that the Braggarts really help with what's popular in the meta, or is going to be popular in the meta rather. So from my point of view, these are the 4 decks that I would really recommend going forward. I think that Rogue and Shaman is still very much playable. Rogue probably still the best deck if I would have to take a guess, and Warrior and Paladin gets quite a boost from these balance changes. If you got any questions, let me know in the comment section, or let me know what you think about the balance patch. Is this gonna shake up the meta more than I think, or are things gonna stay the same? Are you happy with the changes? Tell me all about it. Either way, sorry for being a little bit bad at uploading to YouTube lately. I'm looking to get into it more consistently, so you can expect more content in the upcoming days/weeks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.